A few days ago, I published a video about the teaching of the Seventh-day Adventist Church that a child in the womb is not a soul. If you have not seen that video, please check it out. In this video, I want to give compelling evidence why this definition has horrendous and terrible consequences. In an interview with the Fresno Bee newspaper in 1979, notorious abortionist Dr. Allred made a very interesting statement. Speaking about picketers who protested at his abortion clinics, he said, despite their efforts to derail his lucrative practice, Allred said he has a fair amount of sympathy for abortion opponents. Pay attention to this. If someone really believes that abortion is taking a human life, he said, I certainly can see the depth of their protest and involvement. I don't happen to accept that view, but I can certainly see how it could come to be a very dramatic thing. In another interview, he claimed to be personally responsible for over 250,000 abortions. And in this interview, he said, it's safe to say that I have far more experience than anyone else in the USA in doing this particular thing. Now, take a moment to just stop and think about that. This man has killed hundreds of thousands of children. He claims to have performed more abortions than anyone else, but he's not bothered at all about it because why? Because of his, quote, views. He said, I don't happen to accept that view. This quote is a fantastic example of the power of theology. This is an excellent example of the importance of shaping people's views. This quote demonstrates that how people perceive and view reality, how people perceive and view right and wrong, directly affects their physical actions in this world. This is particularly disturbing because Allred grew up going through Adventist schooling. He went to Glendale Academy, La Sierra University, and Loma Linda University Medical School. We know for a fact that Allred graduated in 1964, but this definition that the unborn child is not a living human being was published in the Adventist Dictionary at least by 1960. How far back this error goes and how it was brought into the church, I don't know. And yes, of course, it is certainly possible to go through Adventist schooling and not accept Adventist beliefs. You can be an Adventist in China or Egypt, and you can attend schools with Buddhist or Islamic classes and still retain your beliefs. However, it is an undeniable fact that Allred spent years in Adventist schooling. It is a fact that the Adventist Church taught and still continues to teach today in their dictionaries and official books that unborn children are not human beings until they move a few inches down the birth canal, and it is a fact that Edward Allred right here specifically holds to this very same view.
Do you think there's any validity in the pro-life movement?
Yes, I think there is. I have a great deal of respect for those people who intelligently advocate the pro-life, so-called pro-life position. This is a very, very difficult decision for a lot of people, and it's difficult for those of us in the field. I really believe that this is essential as a matter of population control, as a matter of suppressing poverty, crime, all the other kinds of human problems that we have in our society. It's essential that we have this.
This is the power of theology. For a moment, just forget about Adventist hospitals. Forget about what we Adventists have done by abortion in our own hospitals. Just forget about that for a moment, and please stop and think about our moral witness. When we Adventists tell the world that a child is not a child until it moves a few inches down the birth canal, we are giving moral legitimacy to the greatest Holocaust the world has ever seen. Tens of millions of little boys and girls are violently dismembered every year, and this has been happening for decades. Hundreds of millions of children have been destroyed in perfect harmony with the official teachings of the Adventist Church. Our moral witness has serious consequences, not only in this world, but for eternity as well. Let not many of you become teachers, knowing that we shall receive a stricter judgment. Can you imagine the day when Allred has to stand before God and he has to give account for his life? Can you imagine if he says, but I was only following the teaching of your church. That's your church, and that's their teaching, and my actions were in harmony with their teachings. And how would you like to be one of the church leaders who are called to give account for this? The irony of this whole situation is that, in my opinion, abortion blinds you to this error. If you in any way accept or justify or excuse or show any sympathy whatsoever towards abortion, you will become blind. Only if you understand how wrong abortion is and what a terrible sin it is, only if you are paying close attention to what we teach will you see this error. The teaching that a child is not a human being until the day that it is born is a huge error. It is the foundational belief to justify killing children, and it's been right there in front of our faces, published in our own official books and dictionaries for over 69 years, and yet nobody has done anything to fix that. I believe this is a testament to the power of abortion to blind people and darken the understanding. As an aside, I first learned about this article several years ago when someone shared with me an anti-abortion tract published and written by another church. It talked about Allred and cited this Fresno Bee article, but unfortunately the Fresno Bee for this year is not archived anywhere online. So I contacted several Adventist churches in Fresno and asked if I could pay someone to visit the library for me, but nobody responded, which not a surprise to most people watching this video. However, I really wanted this article, so I went online to Craigslist and I found someone who was really desperate to find any type of work. So I told the guy, I said, listen, if you just go to the library and scan this article for me and email it to me, I'll PayPal you $80. So he said, sure. And he went to the library, sent me the article, and I PayPal'd him $80. And that's important because that $80 was from a donation that one of you, my viewers, sent to help with research. So I want to say thank you. Thank you very much for that. I will put a link in the description box down below so that you can download and read the entire article yourself. My videos are having a greater influence. Every week, people are contacting me as they learn about this for the first time, and they are contacting their church leaders asking for change. And that is exactly what we want. That is what we want, and it is happening. If you think that this work and my videos are important, and if you want to help support future videos, please see below to learn more. Thanks for watching, and peace.